Hi, so in this video, I'm asking the question, well, what makes a happy home anyway? And how can psychology help us to do it? Hi, my name's Christine Conroy. Welcome to Happy Stuff and Fluff's Happy Home series. And welcome back to my happy place on Saturday morning. Once again, thank you so much for joining me. I really do appreciate it. So if you've been with me for the beginning of this mini series, then you've seen the whole of my house now, the whole of my empty house. So what happens next then in this process of trying to create a happy home? Well, before I start to answer that, can I ask you, are you at the moment decorating your home, a house, or is there a room in your home that you would like to change? Let me know in the comments box down below where you are. Are you kind of watching this out of interest, ready for when you are ready to move or to change the decor in a room? Whatever it is, will you let me know in the comments box, so that will help me then to know what to focus on to help you more as I go along week by week. So, sorry, I've got hair on my lip. So that would be really good if you would do that for me. Okay, let's get on with the video then. Well, the thing is, before we even start to look at things like interior design, style or colours, there's a few questions we had to ask ourselves in this process of trying to create ourselves a happy home. And of course the first question has to be, well, what does happy mean anyway? Now, parts of that will be different for you than it is for me. However, when we ask what is happiness anyway, I mean, this is a subject, it is my subject, it's what I talk about all the time when I'm speaking to women's groups or giving speeches and I'm talking about happiness. I use this Conroy concept of happiness. I'm going to put it up on the screen. So this is the Conroy concept of happiness. We're talking about happiness in general. And these are some things that I feel, if you want to increase your happiness level in general, then you need to consider these particular things. So let's just have a quick look at them, just to remind you. So it's concept, that's the word, and I really did that to make it easier, so that when I talk about happiness when I'm giving speeches, everybody knows we're on the same page as to what happiness is. So close relationships, being outcome and goal oriented, living in the now, which includes mindfulness, contribution, to the greater good or making a difference, exercise and health, pleasure and fun, and trying new things, or learning and knowledge, and I would include achievement in this. So that's the concept. And then there in the middle, as you can see, also important to your happiness levels is the ability to be able to forgive and to be grateful or express appreciation. So those are the things that I feel need to be considered in your life if you want to increase your happiness levels. So in terms of happy home then, I'm using this as my framework in order to do that. Now, you're probably thinking, what is she talking about? Excuse me a second. I hope you don't mind joining me for my coffee on a Saturday morning. Oh. Yeah, so I use this framework. All will become clear. Please be patient with me. So I used this in terms of how we were going to look at designing our home. Let me give you an idea. So let me just put this little card up again for you. So close relationships then, developing and nurturing. So in terms of your home, how do you do that? How do you create a home that helps to nurture your relationships? Well, For example, obviously I don't know how many people share your home, but if you have children in your home or teenagers in your home, how do you want to interact with those other people in your home? Do you want to all be together all the time, in a kind of kitchen, dining, sitting room, open space environment? Do you want to have rooms, private rooms, where each member of the family can go off and be on their own for a while? Do you want them to be able to do that and then gather? Do you want to entertain and gather with lots of people in your home, with people who are close to you? It's things like that. It's how can you look at how you are designing your home in order to help you to be able to interact with those people in your home. Now, for me, a big thing at the moment is connection. I want to feel connected, not just to my family, but to my friends as well. And so it's choosing things like I say, an entertaining room. It's designing in a gallery wall. Now, gallery walls are frowned upon by some interior designers, but we live in our homes. I live in my home. I do agree that photographs all over your home of your family and friends is perhaps not the way to go, but we do want photographs to remind ourselves of people that we don't see anymore, and also of close family members. So a gallery wall would help you to stay connected if that's how you wanted to be connected. So you see where I'm going with that. Being outcome oriented in terms of interior design is about what we're doing. It's thinking about what's the outcome you want to achieve. If you walk into, let's say you just want to do one room, and you walk into that room and it makes you feel a certain way, it might even make you feel depressed or down, or you don't enjoy spending time in that room. So the question is to ask, not so much how can I change the colour, how can I put some new pillows or cushions in here, but ask the question first, how do I want to feel? That's the outcome for that room. How do you want to feel? And then you can set about creating that. Living in the now, are there places in your home where, let me tell you what I've done in my home, which you'll see. I have little what I call moments in my house where I can just sit down and just stop the busy, sit down and focus on the here and now. That's important to me. Other areas. Now, you don't need a big house to do that. It could be a chair in your sitting room or even in your kitchen. Contribution, making a difference. Now, when I talk about contribution, I include your workplace, your working life. Let's not forget that despite the fact that you may get paid to work, you are still contributing through your work. And so you may need an office in your home. You may not have the space to have an office, in which case you have to start thinking about multi-use rooms. It's possibly going to be your dining room, your dining table that acts as your office, with some kind of cabinet to put your work materials into. So that would be contribution. Exercise and health. Well, so for example, if you exercise in the mornings, is there a place in your bedroom where you can keep your kit close by so that you don't have to think too much about it or have too many barriers in the way that are going to stop you from exercising? You can literally, without thinking, get into bed and fall into your running shoes and off you go. Can you do that? Exercise and health, that would include your bedroom, for example. Health, of course, includes a restful night's sleep, so we'd consider that. And then pleasure and fun. How do you want to enjoy your family or being in your home? Do you like to watch a film together every now and then? And so can you create that kind of environment? Do you like to read? Can you go and sit somewhere privately and read? Or any other hobbies that you have? Can you create a place, even if it's in your garden shed, that you can engage in your hobbies? And then learning and knowledge, trying new things. Well, certainly in terms of interior design, it's a nice idea sometimes to try something completely different. So you can do that. And the sense of achievement that you feel, the sense of achievement you feel in your home when you make your bed first thing in the morning is your first little sense of achievement that sets you up for the rest of the day. It's things like that. What we're doing here is intentionally creating the home, creating the home to enable all of these things in the concept to come more easily to us, to help us to increase our happiness. Now, obviously, if you manage to do that, then you become a softer, more non-judgmental person. Happier people we know forgive more easily, and of course you will appreciate everything in your home because you've intentionally created it in this way. Do you understand there now what I'm talking about in terms of design? We've talked about environmental design and design psychology. Here, of course, we're talking about positive psychology and using that to help us to create more positive environments at home. So once all that's established, then we can start to think about how are we going to manifest those things. And of course, that's when we come into maybe your interior design style and colours and so on. Just let me say, if you were to ask me, well, Christine, then, what is your interior design style? I couldn't tell you. In terms of style, I like lots of styles. I can always find something in a particular style. I don't like to follow trends too much. I enjoy them. You'll see I might indulge in a trend. But in terms of interior design style, let me see, I absolutely love the Wabi Sabi aesthetic. Now, you may not have heard that. I'll leave a link to a YouTube video down below that's kind of, it's a contemporary Japanese minimal design with a nod to Wabi Sabi, if you will. Wabi Sabi being the Japanese philosophy of seeing beauty in the imperfect. And it's a fabulous philosophy for a way of living, not just for interior design. And that's what it is. It's a way of living. But as I say, I'll link to a very nice, very smart Japanese minimal design that I totally fell in love with when I watched. But I know that it's too minimal for Mr. Kitchen and I. The English country home style, I love that. Not that I've done it for a while, of course, thanks to COVID, but I love going around country homes in England or in the UK that are 18th, 17th, 16th, even 15th century, because I love to see the particular knack of mixing the old and the new that you find in these homes. I love that. Industrial chic, I love that too. Loft living, I've loved to have lived in a huge loft, I think. I'd love to have done that and to have been able to decorate in industrial chic. But of course, what you have to ask yourself is, can you live with it? That's another question you have to ask yourself. Now, in terms of designers, I'm influenced by many designers. I have been in my lifetime and doing art history, lots of designers who are long since gone. Mid-century modern, I enjoy. You'll see some aspects of that in my home. Belgian interior designer Axel Vervoordt, I enjoy him. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. Kelly Hoppen and Sophie Patterson are both English designers I enjoy. More recently, Rebecca Robeson and Shay McGee. But I've learned an awful lot from Rebecca Robeson, an awful lot. And I'm currently studying with Elena Gregorio, who's a London-based interior designer who specialises in design and well-being. Now, obviously, I cannot hope to emulate these high-end designers, any one of them, neither in pocket or in situation. But what I can do is to look at these things and take bits from them that then I can adapt to my own situation and my own budget. Because, of course, we are working to a budget. which I guess you are too. So that's what I've done in that sense. Now, finally, the person who I relate to the most in terms of his thinking about design is the American architect and designer Bobby McAlpine. Oh, now, in his books, this man articulates my feelings about architectural design and design so accurately, I feel he's inside my head, or should I say my heart. I'm just going to, just bear with me, I just want to read something to you from one of his books, and I will leave the link down below. He's done quite a few coffee table books. They are expensive, but fabulous, worth splashing out on. So this chapter is entitled Beauty, Truth and Love. Just let me read this to you. He says, "Come let me love you," said the house. Some houses beckon to us this way. They are anthropomorphic and emotionally alive. Their character and soul exceed their parts. They have a voice and give us one as well, reminding us that we are loved lavishly and unreservedly, and that we are free to get things wrong without fear of abandonment. That we are called to create our lives out of glorious individuality. This kind of beauty includes us. It feeds emotions we are starving for and captures feelings that we know well. Oh, what a guy. That's called Poetry of Place. And he has another one called The Home Within Us, which is equally fantastic. He says, just let me finish off with this, he says, when we finally find sanctuary in a physical edifice that mirrors our soul, it is ground gained and won, a flag on the moon of the heart. Oh my goodness me. Now I know that might sound a bit flowery or poetic, but I just want you to know where I'm coming from when I talk about a happy home, and that articulates my feelings. I remember when, as a child, we lived in a 2 up, 2 down. You'll know what that is if you're from the UK. A 2 up, 2 down that was falling down basically, and there were 6 of us at that time living there, so 4 children sharing a bedroom, and there was an underneath the stairs little cupboard where the coats were, and I used to sit in there in the dark, and I used to imagine, now I cannot have been more than 5, 6 or 7, imagining my stone house in the country, cottage in the country. If you've read my book Stitch Your Own Silver Linings, I talk about that there. I got my cottage in the country, stone house, and I can remember feeling those feelings that Bobby McAlpine talks about. He talks about the home within and being able to manifest that without, and when you can do that, you've created the home of your soul. It's just divine. I just love his way of thinking. So there you go then. Those are my influences, and that's my approach to this house for Mr. Kitchen and I. Now, what I do in this house is not going to be something that you may want to do in yours. You've got to remember that too. And my interior design choices may not be yours. But if you think about your own home in the terms that I've talked about today, I think it is, and then put these things into practice, it's going to help you. And as I say, even if it's just one room you're changing for now. So, I know I haven't shown you anything about the house this week. There's work being done on the house in the week ahead. So, some rooms will be completed, and next week I hope to start by showing you the house you haven't seen outside the house and the entryway, and talking about how we've put some of these ideas into practice. So I hope you enjoyed that. Please give the video a thumbs up if you did. It would really help to shoot the video out to other people who may be interested in the subject. And thumbs up if you've enjoyed it. And I'll see you next week. And until then, remember that on the Happy Stuff and Fluff, we are getting happy, living longer, and growing younger. I'll see you next time. Bye.